Welcome to Healing Mavericks. My name is Olivia, and I'm here to help you, an independent thinker, on your walk to finding the healthiest version of yourself. I've been on a journey to heal myself, and the single biggest piece of doing that has been focusing on improving my gut health. So today I just wanted to have a chat and share with you what I'm doing to heal my gut. I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, you feel really overwhelmed by taking on too many things at one time. And when it comes to gut health, there's no shortage of a million steps you could do. Because of that, I kept my gut health steps pretty simple and try to focus on one thing at a time. And each thing compounds upon the other and turns into a healthier version of me. This video is to hopefully inspire you to jumpstart your own gut health journey and to give you some practical takeaways that can benefit you, even if you choose to do just one of them. And of course, as a disclaimer, I'm not a physician, a dietitian, or a nutritionist. I'm just a girl on her own health journey, hoping to help others do the same. Listen to your doctor and take my words with a grain of salt. Let's jump in. First of all, why am I even on this gut health journey? Before I started working on my health, I had a myriad of symptoms. I just didn't feel good. I had a general malaise that I kind of took on as my identity. One day I just was like, you know what? This is not working for me. I want to make some changes. I didn't feel like a real human. I had a laundry list of symptoms that were crazy, that added up to be a ridiculous amount of things that was like, man, how am I even living like this? And so one day I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to focus on getting healthy. I want to live a long life for my husband and my kids and my friends, all the people around me, but also just for myself. As a little background, I had no idea I had anything even going on inside of me. I just knew I had a lot of weird symptoms that were adding up to feel like I was just this person who was sick all the time. But once I had my second kiddo, I actually realized how many food sensitivities I really had. Now, how I found that out is for another video. And if you're interested in that, comment down below and we can do a whole nother video on that alone of how I figured out I had food sensitivities. But I knew that I had them, and what that really meant was that my gut was leaky. A leaky gut can seem like some sort of made up character, but it has been a real reality for me. I wanted to put an end to it. I wanted to become the healthiest version of me possible. I'm still on that journey, but I've known deep down that it starts with my gut health. So here's exactly what I'm focusing on. Number one is real food. I'm focusing on eating foods that come from the earth, animals, and things that are single ingredients, and trying to eat less packaged snacks or meals that are bought from a restaurant. I try to cook at home as much as I possibly can. And yes, it can be exhausting and time consuming, but I've seen so much change just from doing this alone. Probably the single most important thing that I'm doing to seal my gut is making homemade broth. I take chicken, boil it and let it simmer, just add salt to it. That simmers for 2 hours, and then I've got this beautiful broth that I can drink, and it's working to seal my gut. Another thing that I'm doing is adding fermented foods into my diet. Before I started my gut health journey, I had never tried sauerkraut before. Now I'm eating sauerkraut at least 2 times a day. It's about 4 tablespoons at a time, and not because you need 4 tablespoons at a time to get the probiotics, but just because I love it that much now. And it seems weird to say that, but I think I add it to every single dinner and most lunches, and it makes me so happy. It's crunchy, it's got this vinegary taste that is just so yummy and gives me all the probiotic benefit. Another thing that I'm working on doing when it comes to food is eating meals instead of snacks. And so this has been so hard for me. I realize that I'm such a snacker throughout the day. I used to eat a really small breakfast, and then 2 hours later you'd see me with another snack, and then 2 hours later another snack. And then in my mind I'm like, oh, I'm eating meals because it adds up to being a meal. But really, I was like feeding myself too often, so I never let my body have a chance to digest and absorb the nutrients, even if I was eating nutrients or if I was eating processed foods, probably that. So now I'm trying my best to eat sit down meals as much as I possibly can. When I really focus on it, that means eating like a king in the morning, a queen at lunch, and a pauper at night. Basically, I'm eating a massive breakfast, a medium sized lunch, and a smaller dinner. Doing this just kind of follows that circadian rhythm. Your body has more cortisol in the morning, so it's easier to digest, to use the food. And then at nighttime, the cortisol levels go down, so you're ready for bed. It's harder to digest, and you just sleep better if you have a lighter meal on your stomach. Another thing I'm doing here is drinking apple cider vinegar, sometimes twice a day. I do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar mixed in some water and drink that before a meal, and that really helps my stomach acid. With that acid, I'm able to digest all my foods, and especially fats, better. The second thing I'm focusing on is mindset changes. This sounds like it doesn't even matter. Oh goodness, it really matters. I have realized that my gut becomes an absolute wreck if I'm stressed out. There are things that I can do that alleviate the stress that I can feel coming up in my daily life. So if I choose to breathe deeply, that's one of them. I didn't even realize that my whole life I just been kind of like shallow breathing. I mean, I'm probably doing it right now. I've had to learn to take deep breaths, do them in counts of 2 or 4. I'll go on walks and I'll count in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4. That has helped tremendously calm my heart rate down, calm my mind down, which means I'm telling my body like, hey, I'm safe. It's okay. Like life is good and the sun is shining and you can breathe and you don't have to create all this stress around you. I've been a person where if there's not drama, then life doesn't feel right. And now I've had to completely shift my mindset that, okay, if there is drama, that means something's going wrong and not that life is normal. I've really had to focus on just calming down and telling myself that like I'm allowed to breathe deeply. I'm allowed to sit and relax if I need to, which, spoiler alert, I need to every day. I try to catch myself before the stress gets out of hand. Otherwise, it just turns into this storm of a lot of different things that go on with my body, especially my gut health. Another mindset change that I've had to make is telling myself what actually tastes good. When I was taking processed foods out of my diet, I was like, man, these blueberries don't actually taste good. But the reality is my taste buds were just completely messed up. They were used to artificial flavoring and just things that weren't real. And so when I started to eat the real things, my gut microbiome was like, we don't like the taste of this at all. But I had to just kind of push through and almost like take sugar completely out of my diet, fake sugar, basically like start over and start with as much whole unprocessed foods as I possibly could and allow myself to be mad about it and kind of grieve. Before I started working on my gut health, I think my kryptonite was a Reese's. And now I think about it, I'm like, oh, I don't actually even think I want that anymore, which is a wild thing to say and very exciting that we've finally gotten here. I would rather have real dark chocolate, and I'm totally content with that. And it's totally fine to have real dark chocolate. Over time, my taste buds did start to change, and now I absolutely crave all the nutrient-dense foods, all the foods that are full of berries and vegetables and healthy fats. If I'm not eating that way, I can really tell that it just messes with me as a person on a whole different level. Another mindset change that I've made is telling myself that I'm healed and believing it until it actually happens. So basically, fake it till you make it. Telling myself that I'm healed has been such an easy way to tell myself that there's room to grow, but there's also room to not be perfect. The thought of being perfect really stresses me out and kind of does the opposite of what we need this to do. For me, striving for perfection makes me really stressed out and does the exact opposite of what I want to do. I want to be healed. Getting there means I can't be stressed out, worried about being perfect over, did I have this many grams of protein? Did I eat this many greens and these vegetables? And did I only eat berries today? Like, no, it's not going to look perfect. I'm never going to strive for that. but I am going to believe that I can be healed and be calm in those choices that I make for myself. Another thing I'm focusing on is using a few tricks that are really helping me on my gut health journey. The first trick that I'm using is to not drink a whole bunch of water before I eat a meal. You may have heard, hey, when you're hungry, drink a lot of water. You're probably just thirsty. See what that is. So for me, I used to drink a whole bunch of water and realize, wait, I actually am super hungry. But then that would dilute my stomach acid, and so I wouldn't be able to digest the foods. So now I try not to drink water before meals or even after meals. I kind of let my dinner and my lunch settle and just give it at least 20 minutes before I'm cracking into water or tea or any like sort of sparkling drink or whatever. Another trick I'm using for my gut health is chewing really well. This sounds so silly and as if I'm like telling my kids to do this. I just feel like I'm having to mother myself. Hey, chew your food really well because your stomach can't handle big chunks of food. I'm having to be really mindful about the sizes of the bites that I'm taking and how long I'm taking to chew it rather than inhaling my food, grabbing a glass of water and running to go pick up the kids. If I'm not mindful about chewing my food really well, I pay the price for it with a bunch of stomach pain. Another thing I'm doing is eating while sitting down. This one is so freaking hard for me to do. I love to stand up and multitask and do another million different things while I'm eating, but that defeats the whole purpose. I'm not thinking about, man, this food tastes really good, or thank you for this meal. I'm really just like, how many things can I do at once? I'm preparing the next meal. I'm doing so many other things that don't even matter. I've been notorious for eating while standing, and that is like not a good thing at all. So even if I have like the mom guilt of this, and this needs to be done while I'm eating, I say no. Things are going to happen. We're going to get there. I choose to sit down, eat my food. I at least allow myself 15 minutes to sit down, enjoy it, and then go on about my day. For me, eating while sitting down is basically just telling myself, I'm okay. I don't have to be stressed out. Life is good. It is okay to sit down and eat. And I've had to tell myself that day in and day out. This trick I felt personally victimized about time and time again because it is just the bane of my existence. I have stopped eating after dinner. If you're anything like me, you turn to food when you're stressed out. Well, with the life that we live, most of us are stressed out. And so we're going to turn to what relieves that stress. For me, I've always loved to sit down on the couch, watch my favorite TV show. I would sit there and eat like a mug of cereal or some mangoes. I used to tell myself like, oh, this is de-stressing me. This feels so good. I'm finally through the day. This is my time. I was ruining my gut doing this. Sugar bombing myself at nighttime was the worst thing I could have done for my gut health. For one, I wasn't able to digest fully before I went to bed. For two, I was For two, I was spiking my insulin levels through the roof right before I needed to go to sleep. And for three, I was packing on these extra pounds that were completely unnecessary, all in the name of relieving stress. My sleep has been so much better since I've stopped eating at nighttime. Now, like I said, I'm not perfect by any means. There are still at least 1 or 2 nights in the week where I'm eating something after dinner time. I will probably always be that way. If I'm not that way, then you guys need to check in on me and make sure I'm alive and okay. The last trick that I've used is if I see something that I really want to eat, but in my mind I know it's not going to be good for my gut health, I ask myself, do I actually want to eat this thing? And then if it's a no, then okay, I can move on and live my life. If it's a yes, then I go for it and I breathe and I tell myself I'm okay. This is an okay thing to do, and I choose to enjoy every second of it. For example, I'll go to a coffee shop and get some work done and I'll have some sort of pastry. That is totally okay. For me, that is like a highlight of like my month. I don't beat myself up about it. I don't sit in stress. I just eat the thing and enjoy it. I want to talk about how all these things are turning me into a new person. My personality has changed on its head. Honestly, I am so much more full of joy. I have a lot more energy. I just feel like I have a smile on my face. I have something that I'm passionate about and love talking about. I feel like I'm doing something really good for myself. For example, my skin and hair health have been so much better. I mean, even in high school, I had patches on my head of hair that was just gone. And I think it was due to how I was eating just processed foods day in and day out and had no clue how to take care of myself. I feel like I am in better shape than I ever have been in my life. And I have 3 kids. And if you're a mom, there is hope for you. Like you can do it. We can do this together. I've been getting rid of acne and eczema, and I feel like I just have this glow now that is just kind of radiating out of me. And I'm so grateful for it because there have been times in my life where I'm like, I just am not feeling myself at all, but it's a complete reflection of what's going on inside of me. I also feel like my brain health has completely changed. I don't have any more brain fog where I'm feeling like there's just this cloud sitting on my head. I have so much more clarity in my thought process. There's no more depression and anxiety or these crazy heart palpitations that would come with that. And like I said, I have so much more energy. And because of this, I have like a higher self esteem for myself. And with that self esteem has come better self talk. I'm not beating myself up for choices anymore. I'm a lot more gentle on myself, which allows me to be a lot more gentle with others around me. And I just think it's so interesting how focusing on my gut health has really changed so many things about my life. That laundry list of symptoms that I was telling you about at the beginning are completely gone. That list included, but was not limited to, itchy skin, bloating, ringing in the ears, tingling hands and feet, especially like my arms and legs falling asleep at night, headaches, and even painful air bubbles in my chest. I can't even remember all the things that have gone on with my health that are gone now, which just speaks volumes of what this is doing for me. When I focus on drinking my broth, eating my fermented foods like sauerkraut and pickles, sitting down for meals and just calming myself down, my body is so much more in alignment with who I believe is the best version of me. I implement as many of these gut health tactics as I possibly can in a day, but I definitely don't strive for perfection because, like I said, perfection really stresses me out and does the complete opposite of what I'm going for in gut health. And it just completely negates the healing process. If I can't hit all the marks in one day or even one of them, then I just kind of take an audit of that, realize what went on, what could change, and then just pick up again the next day. But there's no shame. Hopefully this video sparks some creativity in your mind of how you can get rolling with your own gut health journey. If you'd like to go deeper on any of these topics, let me know in the comments below what they are, and I'd love to take a deep dive. I'm happy to make any video that you guys are interested in hearing about. Please like this video as it helps my channel so much, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and have a beautiful day.